Hey, my friends, I saw one of the scariest, creepiest, most disturbing films I've seen in decades tonight. It's not an American made Hollywood formula film or independent film. It's from Norway, and it's called The Innocents. I highly recommend it if you're into horror films. But let me tell you, this is not a splatter gore film. There's not a lot of loud noise and chaos such as Suspiria, the 1977 Dario Argento film I reviewed earlier. It's a film that's very, very subtle and distinct. There is a great soundtrack, very atmospheric, moody music. It's a slow-paced film for the most part, but when the action scenes happen, they're very brief and they are very startling and unusual. Great visual special effects. I never got the feeling I'm watching an overdone CGI film, which is what most Hollywood horror films rely on nowadays. This new film, The Firestarter, which is a remake of Firestarter that was done years ago with Drew Barrymore. The original was just terrible, I thought, a bad joke. And looking at the previews for this new version, it looks even worse. So if that's your kind of film genre you want to check out, be my guest, waste your money. But if you want to invest in quality entertainment that's going to give you the heebie-jeebies, go see The Innocents. Or if you can stream it somewhere, by all means do that. But I think the film plays much better on a big screen where you see the film from beginning to end without interruption. There's a mood and a development that happens that way that will not be the same watching it on home video when you stop a couple times to get up and get a snack or go to the bathroom. This film, just first rate from the beginning frame to the very end. And the film has some terrific acting by some very young film actors. It takes place in the summertime. Most of the people in the village are gone on vacation, so there are not a lot of kids around. But the few that are there, they become friends or sort of friendly with each other. A young boy who looks like he might be Israeli. It was hard to tell exactly because they don't really tell you. But his name was Benjamin, and he has some kind of telekinesis power to move things with his mental abilities. He's not really completely in charge of them or know what he's doing sometimes, but he does have this power, and it's very, very wild, some of the things he does. He meets up with another couple of sisters. One is an older girl, probably in her early teens, and her name is Anna. And she has autism, and she's very, very non-functional. She can't really do very much or speak. Her younger sister, Ida, is a very bright and precocious little girl, and she becomes friends with Benjamin, friendly with him. And there's another girl, Aisha, and she is a African-American girl who is very, very sweet and lovely and may also have some autism. It's hard to say for sure, but she has some kind of a mental capacity to relate to the other older girl with autism. So we see this quartet of children getting engaged, playing some games together and things, using their psycho abilities to move objects. And it's a very interesting film, but I don't want to give away any of the real heavy detailed plot elements. I'm not going to spoil this film for anybody. You got to see it yourself. There's a really upsetting scene early in the film with some animal cruelty. There's some torture, and they execute a cat, kill a cat. And I saw a woman get up and walk out right after that scene. So I can understand for sensitive people, that was a tough scene to watch even for me. But I'm sure in real life, no cat was really harmed. They don't do that much these days in films, harm real animals. But the effect was very, very graphic, much more so than the murder scenes in Suspiria, the 1977 Argento film. This film, it deals with a cult and supernatural, but in a very realistic way that has you going, had me going anyway, believing that this kind of thing, who knows? It's possible. I've read many accounts of people being able to use their mental powers to actually move objects. Now, it's a little bit over the top in this film, maybe more so than what you might believe is possible, but that doesn't matter. We're watching a movie. We suspend our disbelief for the sake of the film to go with the storyline. And if you go with this story, and I think you will, it will carry you a long way because there are deeper underlying aspects to the movie that will make you think about the innocence of young children and also the dark side in all human beings that can be there, be present even in children. Yes, it's possible. We don't really know why that is, but children in general are not evil. I don't believe that. But there are some children that are capable of doing evil acts. And that's been documented historically, incidents of children that have done murder and hurt and harmed people. And, maybe it's mental illness. I like to believe that it is some kind of a mental illness that causes this sort of thing. It's an abnormality. However, it's a dark film. It's very, very disturbing, but yet at the same time, it's very intelligent and never insults the viewer whatsoever. I mean, as a film goer, I was engaged and believing that this film was very credible. I just really admired it for its artistry. The cinematography was fantastic. As I say, the soundtrack was superb, and the direction, my hat's off to the director. He wrote and directed the film, and it's just a superb movie. I don't know how much it'll be playing around in the United States at big theaters. I had to see it at a very small art film theater tonight. But if you can get this film somehow and watch it and turn out the lights and watch it from beginning to ending, I don't think you'll be disappointed. But be forewarned, this is not for the faint-hearted. This is a very, very dark, moody film that's going to take you somewhere you've likely not been too many times watching a movie. Big thumbs up, but with a caveat, it is a disturbing film, The Innocents.